although this is a retraining for servers, and it's going to be pretty simple because the job of serving right now is going to be pretty easy. Okay. Point number one, servers must wear a mask. Now the reason for that is you're going to be bringing the host over, and the patent is open, and so you'll be breathing in the direction of the host. And so this is for the safety of everybody in church. Now so you might say, well, can I just wear it when I'm setting up the altar? As I understand it, one of the big objections that people have with the mask is when you touch your mask, if there are COVID germs on your mask, if you touch your mask, it gets on your hands. And then if you touch your eyes or rub your mouth or whatever, then you have a danger of getting COVID. So that's why you shouldn't be touching your mask all the way during Mass. So servers, I'm going to ask you to get masks that have straps that go around your ears. You don't want to do the tie ones because then you're untying and your chances are you're going to be touching the mask. So at communion time, when it's time to receive communion, you can receive communion on the hand, and then the other hand, grab your strap, take it off, let it hang from one ear, just like Roy glasses are. That way you're not touching the mask where there could be germs. You eat it, and then you put your mask back on. It's tough when you wear glasses. Let me just tell you. It's tough when you wear glasses. Okay, so that's the communion time. So, but servers are going to have to wear masks because I don't want you touching your mask and then touching the sacred vessels with a host in it. That could be a danger. If you touch the sacred vessel with a host, and then I touch it, and then I rub my eyes or something, that's an issue. Okay. For the rest of the tape, I'm going to take this off. There will be one server. And servers, you need to dress nicely because we're not going to be able to let you wear the cassocks or albs or surplice. Somebody asked if they have their own alb, could they bring it? You can do that. That would be fine. But for the most part, most of you don't have. Certainly when I was 14 or 15, I did not have an alb or a cassock at my house. So I don't present. I'm not asking you to go out and buy one because we just don't want you to do that. But we want you to dress nice. So a dress shirt, dress slacks, nice shoes. For girls, you can wear a skirt or a dress if you want to do that. But the skirt or dress has to be at least to your knees. Okay, you're going to be up on the altar. We don't want you to be a distraction. The skirt or the dress needs to be at least to your knees. But please dress nicely. I said in the opening video about if you don't know what Sunday best is, you want to wear what we used to call Sunday best. And if you don't know what that is, talk to your grandparents. They'll tell you what Sunday best is. But it's nice clothes. It looks presentable. The one server will be the cross bearer, will be the altar setter, will be the bell ringer, okay? And that's about all the jobs you're going to have, okay? Now, there's going to be two different versions here. There's a version where there's a deacon here, and there's a version without the deacon. So I'm going to try to help you understand both of those today. So what you'll do is, just like the cross-bearer always did, you'll wait. There's going to be a cantor who sings a song. They'll start playing the music, and then when the actual starts singing, the people aren't going to sing. We're not going to be singing during Mass, at least for the next month or two. We're not going to be singing at all during Mass. So what you'll do is, once the music starts and the cantor starts singing, you'll, just like you always do, your hands apart, because again, the cross is heavy. Don't have your hands too close together. Have them spaced apart so they're nice and stable. Make sure the corpus is facing forward. When I was training you, I think I probably told you when I was a cross-bearer one time and I walked up the cathedral with several bishops and hundreds of priests and 1,000 people, and I got to the front and realized that I had carried the cross down like this. I felt pretty foolish. You want to make sure the corpus is facing directly out. So we're going to walk down. As you walk down, of course, you're going to walk down the center of the aisle. Because there's going to be people in either pew on either side, just a couple feet in. You want to walk right down the center of the aisle. When you get to the front, the cross stand is now on the left-hand side. So this is the opposite of where it used to be. It used to be the cross-bearer went to the right. The cross-bearer, because you're the only server, is going to go to the left. And you're going to go over, and the cross stand is right by the railing for people who are coming in the sanctuary have a hard time. want your posture to be saying what we're doing is important. So just as we've always taught you, you have your hands folded, feet together. Okay. Now this is where it gets different. The priest will kiss the altar, he'll go to his seat. We'll start with the sign of the cross, the greeting just like normal. We're going to do the penitential rite, the Gloria, just like we normally would. Then the priest is going to say, let us pray, and you're going to do nothing. Normally, the book bearer would take the book and come up, but you can't be that close to me, particularly during the main part of the Mass. I won't be wearing a mask because it's hard for people to hear if I'm wearing a mask. That's why I'm not. I'm not telling you to do one thing and doing another. There's a reason, because I got to talk. People got to hear me. Seeing my lips move helps some people hear me. So I'll say, let us pray. We have a stand up by the priest with a book on it. You don't have to bring the book over. We'll have the first reading, they'll do a psalm, they'll do the second reading, they'll do the gospel acclamation. Again, we're going to be saying it, we're not going to be singing it. The priest will give his homily, and of course you'll pay close attention, as you always do. After that, we're going to do the creed, we're going to do the petitions. Okay, now this is when it gets a little different. So after you walk in, the next thing you're going to be doing as a server is setting up the altar. Now this is going to be more extensive in some ways than it normally is because there's no offertory procession. People are not able to bring the gifts up because they would be within a few feet of us and they would be breathing on the host if they weren't wearing a mask. So we want to be safe for everybody. So if you look at that, we have a book. So I have a book on the stand over there. You will never have to touch that book. The only one that's going to touch that book is myself. That way we don't have to worry about you getting germs on it or you touching it after I've touched it and getting germs yourself. We want to keep you safe. We want to keep me safe. We want to keep Father Bednar safe. We want to keep everyone safe. Okay. So when you get over here, you'll see another book. This is the book we normally used on Sunday with one corporal. We have another corporal already open in the altar, and we're not going to be opening and shutting that one because, one, we won't be transferring, doing much on it, but it has to be pretty far up on the altar. And some of you are short, and you have a hard time getting it up that far. So we're just going to leave it there. We have it up that far so that when the paten, and you can see I have a few hosts in here. These, of course, are not consecrated, and they never will be because I'm breathing on them right now, so because I'm not wearing a mask. But you'll be wearing a mask. That way you're not breathing on them. Okay, so if you see how we have this, the paten is on top. We have the pall, and underneath here, we have another little paten. And I'm going to tell you, this is the way it was when I was a kid. This is the kind of paten the priest always used. And he had the size host that he used. We're going to be using that for Mass. We won't be using the big host for now because I have to breathe on it when I'm breaking the bread and touching it and everything else. So the only one who will eat this host is myself. Usually I break it up and I share it with other people. I'm not able to do that. Why? Because I'm breathing on it, and that could be a danger. Probably not, but it could be a danger. We want everybody to be safe. So that is right on top of the chalice. Then you have the pall, and you have this over. So the first thing you're going to do when you come over is purify your hands. We have hand sanitizer on the table here. You're going to purify your hands because other people have touched the book. You've touched the book. We want you to be safe. We want people who touch the book after you to be safe. So you're going to pick up the book in the corporal. Now, if there's no deacon, you're going to open the corporal. So we're going to come over. Just like the book bearer was always taught, you're going to come, put it past the center of the altar, the book. Then you're going to come and open this, the corporal. Now, if I'm the priest, remember, you open it right here near the edge of the altar. There's the mark there. You want to line up the cross with it. If Father Bednar is the priest that you're serving for, he likes to have it up here because he opens the book in the front. So if it's Father Bednar, it's up here. It's me, it's there. If you look at it, you can see where the corporal is, the right-hand corporal. We're leaving that on the altar. Notice how that's pretty far up. Some of the shorter ones would have a hard time getting it, and we just don't want to, it's just easier to keep that open. So you'll open the corporal in the book. If the deacon is not here, even if the deacon is here, you're going to come over and Bring the chalice, and there's 2 patens here. You need to use 2 hands. Remember, you don't try to carry this in something else, because that could fall over. So remember when I trained you initially, always told you, always, always, always use 2 hands when you're carrying these. You're going to bring these up. Now, because you're going to have the mask on, those hosts are safe. When I come to the altar, I'm not going to have a mask on, because again, people need to be able to hear me. Now, before I get close to the host, I'll be putting a mask on, just that you know that. But when you get that, you're going to put this as far as you can up on the corporal, as far away. The chalice, the other part of the chalice will stay here. Then you're going to go. There will also be 1 or 2 ciborium. So you're going to carry the 1 or 2 ciborium. Just put that on here. Then you're just going to go to your seat. You're not going to do the washing of hands. We have a table set up here so the priest can wash his hands himself, so that, again, you don't have to be that close to me. I'm not breathing on you. You're not breathing on me. One big happy family, okay? We're trying to keep you safe, keep me safe, keep Father Bednar safe. Okay, so then the deacon will come over if he's here. He'll do the mixing of the water and wine. The priest will come over. The deacon will hand back in there. We try to do it where we kind of stretch out. The deacon will hand that to the priest if he's here. If not, the priest will just take it himself. And he'll set it on the altar. And the priest or the deacon will do the mixing of the water and wine. Again, you're not going to be here. You're just going to be at your seat. The priest will do the deacon will do the mixing of the water and wine. The priest, again, will set down that. And then the priest will try, in the distance where he's not breathing on the host, open the tops of the ciborium. So again, we want to keep you safe. We want to keep the priest safe. We want to keep the whole congregation safe. So we want no one breathing on the host without a mask. We want to be protecting everybody. And that's about it for this part of the Mass. Then, at the end of Mass, after communion, when the priest goes down with communion, you can come and start taking everything off the altar and put it on the side. So anything that's still on the altar, you just put it on that. You'll leave the corporal. You can take the book, if the chalice is there, put that on the side of the altar. But leave the corporal open, because we need the corporal so when the priest comes and consolidates the host, and again, he'll have a mask on at that point. So at the end of Mass, then, you're going to do that. Now, the only thing is when you come up for Holy Communion, as I said at the beginning of this, you're going to come up like you normally would. You'll have your mask on. When the priest comes over, you want to take the mass by the strap after you receive communion. Take the mass by the strap, pull it down, take the host, put it in your mouth, and then put it back on, okay, so that you're safe. Don't touch the mask itself, because that, as I understand, that's what a lot of people's objections to masks are. If you touch the mask, if there's any virus on it, it's going to get on your hands, and you can touch your eyes, you can touch your mouth, you can touch your nose, and that could be an incident. So make sure you touch it by the strap, not pulling it down, because if you pull it down, any germs could get on your hands, and then you're taking the host in your hands and putting. So I'm going to ask you to receive communion on the hand. I know you might not be comfortable, but everybody's going to see you get communion. If they see me put communion on your tongue, they might not want to receive communion. Just that you know that. So out of love for others, I'm going to add, now if you don't feel comfortable with that, then for the next month or two, just tell us that, and we won't put you on as a server. Just that you know that. But this is really, really important. You need to be safe. The priest needs to be safe. The people need to be safe. But even more importantly, just as importantly, people need to feel safe. So if they see you do anything that makes them feel unsafe, you're not doing the ministry you're called to do. Okay. Let me think. Okay, so then at the end of Mass, after the priest consolidates the host and he or the deacon puts it in the altar, then you can close up the corporal. When the priest goes to do that, when nobody else is around, close up the corporal, come over, and the priest will try to turn his back to your direction so that if you come over and set the corporal down, you're not facing each other as you bring the corporal over. Then at the end of Mass, When the song starts, you're going to grab your cross, just like the cross bearer would always do. He or she is going to come to the front, just like the cross bearer would always do. Again, the people are not going to be singing. There'll be a cantor singing. So the priest will come over probably after verse, just like normal. He'll kiss the altar. He'll turn, he'll genuflect. As a cross bearer, you do not genuflect. It's pretty heavy. I don't want you falling down. Don't think, well, I'm big, I can do it. We want to be consistent. Do not genuflect. If you're the cross bearer, then after the genuflect, you turn around and walk out. You put that in the sacristy, and we don't want to be cluttering up the gathering space, okay? Because we want people to be able to get out of church without passing within 6 feet of people. So we're not going to be in there greeting people. We're not going to be just go and hang up your cross. You won't have to change because chances you shouldn't have to change. And then you're going to go and meet your family. Probably just go outside the church, not in the front, over to the side, meet your family, and then go home. Thank you for your ministry, and God bless you for your service. This too will pass. But as one church sign I saw said, this is going to pass. It might pass like a kidney stone, but it's going to pass. So this is just a temporary thing. Hopefully just a month or two. Who knows how long? Maybe into the fall. But for now, this is one server, cross bearer. There'll be no book bearer. When you set up the altar, we showed you how to do that. It's pretty simple. And of course, you ring the bells. You're also the ring bell, during the consecration, just like you normally were. Thank you for your service. God bless you.